Welcome back to Iron Range Adventures podcast. I'm your host, Steve Wally. And today we have two guests. We're doing something really special today. We have both the Browns right next to me. I have an intro written up already, but I'll let you guys take the horn. Tell me a little about yourself. Who are you guys? Who is the Browns? Let's start there.
Go ahead. You're the one that likes to talk.
You go ahead. You get to start. This is your baby.
That's really funny, since most days I try to talk and I'm kind of shut down, right? So this is the intro to This Is Who We Are. And it's we do enjoy life. Our relationship probably wasn't the most traditional one. It's kind of been on the go from the word go. And we're now going into 24 years
of being married
this summer. The 23-year-old
Congratulations.
son. You do the math. Sometimes things happen, maybe not in the exact orders they're supposed to, but you run with it, and we've just stayed true to that for the last 24 years. It's been a whirlwind, I think, in a lot of ways, but we've got three amazing boys. I had a career in education prior to coming to what we're doing now with the rentals and with the deli. But it's been a wild ride, and I couldn't imagine a better partner to be on it
really?
with.
That's so sweet of you.
No, your turn.
Oh, I was a born entrepreneur.
Yes.
He has been forced into it and now loving it.
I love it, yeah.
Right? Wink.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. We have rentals, like you said. We have Sunrise Deli. You have a travel agency.
Yes.
With Emily's Travel. We have this beautiful deli, and then, manufacturing with all of our products that we sell here at the deli. So,
Correct.
my gym, Synergy Studio, and then I have a massage business. So those are at the Reed Building. So we stay very busy, and for me, it's better that way. I might find something else for us to do if I didn't stay that busy.
And I guess for you both are from the Iron Range, but what moment in life made you realize that this wasn't just where you were from, is where you're meant to build something?
I think as the kids were growing up, and they were very active in athletics, and we were always trying to find more for them. You do what you do up here, and we were very active. I was very active in athletics. She was very active in helping and supporting all that stuff. But there did come a time where we thought maybe we needed to be off the range to expand my teaching to career, for her massage career. We were lucky enough, we did get to spend parts of like 7 summers out in Bar Harbor, Maine. We lived out there for 2 full summers with my aunt. Unbelievable, man. We'd drop her off at a 5-star hotel, 4-diamond hotel, and the boys and I would literally follow the seafood truck around Bar Harbor Island, and they got to see fresh halibut, fresh lobster, all these cool things, right? So we've always been kind of a little bit of a wandering soul, and for a while there we did look. We were looking at opportunities to be in the metro, and it just got to a point where we realized that we really didn't want that.
Right.
We wanted to be here, and we wanted to make it more than home here, and I think that was when she decided, and she started looking at the Reed Building over here. We had sold our house by the Catholic Church, and we were renting, and this one got the idea that she wanted to pursue buying the Reed Building.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I always wondered what the Reed Building was. So if anyone hasn't been around and you're not from here, you can look up the Reed Building in Hibbing. And when I was younger, it was always like, I never saw Patsy Reed, who lived there, or her family. And I always wondered, what goes on in that building? So when the opportunity came, and Linda Perpich, if anyone knows Linda, was like, you need to call this number. And I'm like, oh, we could never afford it. But the day I walked through was the first time ever he said, I knew you'd purchase it with or without me. So
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it was just a way too, like, if you're going to stay here, how do you keep these communities vibrant?
Right.
And how do you keep people wanting to be here? And the Reed Building, I always carried that mystique, but it was just for the last 20 years, it just was kind of like sitting, it was kind of in between what's going to go on here. And so when we this building's amazing. We want to revitalize it. We want to bring it back to what it was. And so we're still in the process of that, but we're about 90% done, and it's a pretty cool opportunity. And then the deli came around, and you don't have communities, you don't have local places like this, you know. And again, I fantasize about us being a mini Casetas or Casetas on the range, because when you go down to St. Paul and you get that Casetas vibe, you know you're in a cool place, right? You know, and so hoping to bring some of that vibe here to keep, just some things vital for Hibbing.
Right. And then if someone had told you 10 or 15 years ago that you'd be helping bring new life to downtown Hibbing, what would the younger Melissa and younger Mike have said?
For me, there was always dreams of owning my own building for my businesses. I've always been in different places in Hibbing, all of them great, but you always dream of wanting your own place. And I would have said it just never was possible. When you're younger, raising our kids, it's like, how do you get from point A to point B and get through the day, right? Chasing your kids and their activities and affording their activities and doing things. So never would I have dreamt that we would have what we have.
Right.
And for me, it was an education, so it's a pretty secure job, right? And it's not one that people leave very often after that many years into it. You're into it, you're invested, you've got your pension, you've got all those things, but it just came a time and place where, that guy, 10 to 15 years ago just said, no, I'm good. I love teaching. I love coaching.
Yeah.
Why would I leave this? But I think at the end, this is definitely where where I'm meant to be. Doing what I'm doing is what I was born to do, to be honest. Being around people, being around food, and just kind of working with the community.
And then every big dream comes with a breaking point. What was the moment during the journey where you almost said, maybe this is too much?
I can say some days, some weeks are that way, where you're just like, what are we doing? Like, how much more can we add to our plate? But then I think the biggest thing is people in your community, and even like today, people coming into the deli. There's multiple people that were from all over Minnesota just stopping in because they heard of us. So I think it's your community cheering you on, things that you're seeing shift in the community that keeps you going, because there's some days that you're just like, holy Hannah, what did we commit to?
Right.
You love it, but I always tell people it's not easy. And Jim Rohn, I always think of him, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Right?
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
That might be the first time you've ever not sworn when you could have sworn, to be honest.
I was telling them earlier
says.
that, I try to keep it clean.
Wow. Holy.
There might be kids
Holy
watching.
Hannah. That was very impressive. I
Holy
cannot
Hannah
believe
Batman.
Schnikes. Yeah. And to be very honest, everything that we've been through as a couple and as parents, I haven't seen a breaking point yet. There are days where you seem overwhelmed. There's days where the projects add up. There's days where people don't show up to work or they call in, we've been blessed. We're surrounded by great people,
Yes, yeah.
Our families are super supportive. They're here when we need it. You two guys being here, helping spread the word, you couldn't ask for better people to be supported by and around. So I don't know that I've ever seen a breaking point, but again, as we described early on, like, our life has been chaos from day one.
Right.
So I don't think we know any other way. If you ever find us getting actually to sit at home, we're both in a very anxiety state, which is probably not healthy, but it is
Sure.
our reality, because there's always something we want to be doing or something we think we need to be doing. So so breaking point, not yet.
And then I guess to kind of touch on it a little more, what's a sacrifice you guys have made behind the scenes that the community will probably never see?
I think it's in the last few years. I think the hardest part is, it's for me. It's been a lot less time with my kids.
Yeah.
I think that's the part that people probably will never realize, because being a teacher and being a coach, man, I was with my boys 24/7.
Right.
I was always with my boys. We just talked about being in Bar Harbor, Maine. It's me and the boys. You know, she's going to work, me and the boys.
Having the summers off.
Having summers off, me and the
For
boys.
the most part.
You know, and you know, so it's been really hard. You know, and I can see, I personally believe it. You see something in our youngest. He's suffering. You know, he's had to deal with us for the last going on 3 years. You know, this is a lot.
Right.
You know, this place is a lot. Even though we're only open theoretically 10 to 3, it's not 10 to 3 by any means. You know, and so for me, that's the part that gets me every time, because you can't ever go back and replace those minutes, those hours. So, you know, that's the hardest for me.
And then have you ever had a moment where you just stopped, looked around, and thought, we're actually doing this?
Sometimes I don't think we have time to even think about that.
No, it's every day. You know, it's every day. The daily grind of just chasing your dreams and doing what you love is it's a grind. It's a challenge, but
Right.
it's also special because, again, it comes back to a lot of those questions you said. You're here for a purpose. You want your community to be better. You want to do what you can to, I mean, the 40s built an amazing business, right? We're lucky to kind of take their torch and carry it, you know, and we're blessed to have their son Tommy still buying our products there in Ranger and St. Paul and all those things that you keep doing. But yeah, I'm probably even off the question at this point, but you know, it's you don't see a lot of it, but we also don't want you to see it.
Right.
When you walk in here, we want you to see our smiles. We want you to be greeted by people. We want you to have good food. We do some private dinings over at the Reed, and we bring people in, and it's just her and I. We do private meals for people, and you know, and
We have fun.
yeah,
You know, and I think that's the biggest thing is the emotional part when people come in. I want everyone to be greeted, and I want them to be thanked when they leave, because we wouldn't be what we are without our customers.
Yeah.
So we want them to have that experience. What's the everyone knows your name, I won't sing. Right?
just talking about singing the whole time.
Right?
Cheers, cheers, yeah.
And so that part, like, I want to know people's life. If you're in here all the time and you have the time to sit down at a table, we want to know who you are, because
Your story matters.
Your story matters, and you stepping foot in our business matters, because it supports us, but it also supports everyone that works here, and the history. Like he said, Tom and Mary were blessed to have passed on the torch, and they started something amazing, and we've just added our tweak to it.
And their years and decades of sacrifice to do it.
Amen.
Same thing.
Yeah.
You know, same thing.
And then also too, I mean, you know, building a business together as a couple isn't easy. When did you realize your partnership was stronger than the pressure around you?
When we hardly knew each other, and
When
we
we
moved
got
out to
married.
California, and we had a baby on the way. We had been together for about 5 months, and you know, living with 4 of my college buddies in a house and not making a ton of money. So I was teaching, and then I was working at, we have Texas Roadhouse here, but it was the original Roadhouse out there. So I would teach. I get home about 3:30, change my shirt, change my pants, put on my original Roadhouse t-shirt
Go to work again.
that your dad still has, and I'd go to work, and I would bartend until 10, 12 at night.
Jeez.
And then,
Yeah.
you know, and then I'd come home, and that seemed hard, but I think the harder part was for her sitting at home
And not knowing anyone
and being stuck. And so,
No
I mean,
car.
no,
to get anywhere, big and pregnant.
yeah. And
But-
so,
I always think there's challenges in life, and us working together, we have fun. There's days people know we don't enjoy working together.
she tells me I'm number one about 5 or 6 times a day.
If you've been here,
Yeah.
that I think people come back for that
Yeah,
too.
you're number one, Mickey. Yeah, doesn't really
but
mean it with her index finger, though, usually, but, you know, that's okay.
So I think we have fun together
We do.
for the most part. Obviously,
We have our own way, though.
challenges.
We do. We have our
Yes.
own way. I don't think everybody always understands us.
I'm the nicer one.
Yes.
Well, the next question is actually from Melissa.
Yes.
Melissa, what's something about Mickey that makes you proud, but he probably never hears enough?
About how much he's willing to sacrifice and work. He does parts of the business that I would never do. And I don't like doing.
Anything with a computer?
Anything with a computer. I'm a dinosaur, for those who know me. I hate computers. And just what he was willing to shift. Because I know I've always been a entrepreneur. And him taking on the deli, I know he loves cooking. But that, I think, was a major shift for him. And so proud that he did it. And I know he loves it. Just proud he was willing to join me on my side of the field of entrepreneurship.
Well, funny enough, the next question is actually for Mickey. Mickey, what's something about Melissa that people might overlook, but you know is the real reason all this works?
I've never seen anybody willing to work as hard as she does. Like, anybody that knows her understands how hard she works, but I don't think they truly get, like, she's just a warrior, you know? I jokingly, so you'll probably take offense to this, but I jokingly refer to her as my redneck pirate princess. And again, it might sound funny, but she's just this crazy, unique personality.
Sure.
And no one will ever notice the times where she's sticking around to do the jobs around here that couldn't get done that day or didn't get done that day. She gets up early on her days that she's supposed to be over at the Reed Building doing massage, and she'll come here. She'll help with desserts. She'll help get the front set up. She'll stay late, right? You know, and just there isn't a job too big or too small for her to do.
Right.
You know, and I can't keep up. She has a different kind of motor when it comes to that stuff, but she'll do anything for anybody, and
That's awesome.
She's just a warrior.
See, we fit, but that's how we fit well together. He'll do the things, you guys, just so our viewers know. How many times have I probably cooked dinner for our family in our marriage?
Almost 24 years. I'll lead into the mic like you were. Almost 24 years.
Almost 24 years.
I could probably count it on two hands.
Wow.
So see, the ebb and flow, like the things one does, the other, I would rather go shovel. And I'm stubborn. I won't
When
even
we
use
had
a snowblower.
you'd prefer to mow the lawn.
Yes,
We don't own a single blade of grass, haven't we?
Yes.
Over
that
3
is
years.
one thing.
It's a beautiful thing.
If
No
anyone
grass, no
wants to
lawn
move
mowing.
downtown, that is a plus. You don't have a single blade of grass. So
Well, we got some more questions to sell somebody.
go ahead.
To sell somebody on that potential, move over there.
yeah.
But if anybody's wondering, people outside the Iron Range sometimes think small towns are dying. What do they completely misunderstand about places like Hibbing?
I think for us, man, it's just I had the perfect house for my family, backyard, pool, right? I'd walk through the church parking lot to get to work, and so when she decided, no, I want to sell that house, and then we're gonna do that, I'm like, oh my world, like, you crazy lady, like, and but to live how we're living right now, it's actually really cool.
Yeah.
It is really cool to be. Before we had the Libba and the deli, we were just at the Reed Building, and we lived in an apartment upstairs, and she worked, on the main floor. And again, we didn't have a blade of grass to worry about,
Right.
and I think it's a really cool way where you can have these small towns stay vital. And you might be living in a big city, and for what we're able to buy the Reed for and put our money into it, it's probably half of what they spend on a house in a big city.
Right.
And from a business standpoint, it's a great way to do things, and so I think that's what people down there miss. And there's a very community feeling around, small towns, and I don't know that you always have that in a big city.
And for me, I think the biggest thing is I love going to big cities. Love it. I don't like the chaos. I get to come back here. I can go visit big cities. It's quiet. It's quaint. You pretty much know anyone and know everyone in your community. And I love the peace that little towns bring.
Right.
and I can go to the chaos, and I can come back to the quiet.
We could literally go a week without driving a car.
Yes. I walk my block.
Like literally.
Oh yeah.
Like we took the truck out of the garage because it hadn't moved in like 3.5 weeks. We're like, hey, we should probably drive this.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, pour a cup of coffee and walk to work. Like, and it's downstairs.
And it doesn't get better than that.
And I guess, like, what's one big dream you secretly have for this area that you haven't told too many people yet?
You got one?
Me? Nah. let me
What kind
think
of
on
an
that.
answer is that?
Well, and I think of big things like when I bought the Reed. I think that the downtown can be revitalized. It really is getting the younger generation back here. And I just think we have so much to offer. If I could literally pick up every building downtown and had the money to redo it, I would. It makes me, since buying the Reed, it makes me really want to go building for building and purchase them. See, this is why I don't get to sit around. So I just think there's just so much that can happen here. And I think of Stillwater, going to Cuyuna, and I'm like, that can happen here, but there needs to be more people that believe that can happen. We have Redhead's amazing. It's an opportunity to bring people here, and I just think there's so many cute little quaint businesses all over the Iron Range, not even just Hibbing. So
yeah, and I would second that. I mean, I think you take a look at a city like Stillwater. They do have the advantage of being on a river. They do have the advantage of being near the metro, right? But Cuyuna has really done a nice job, in that community of Crosby, to get things going. And so, but I dream of having a big tent and doing Oktoberfest. I dream of having
a Christmas market. We talk about these stuff all the time.
And just having, not always just, let's say, a full street dance, but block parties. And I think there's some things in the work. People are working on this stuff, right? I mean, you've got a person like Heather Matthey who's been out there working to try to get her and her group to get those downtown on Monday nights. I think that's a great thing. So the more and more people you have fighting for those things, the more and more that can happen. We have to lose that silo mentality.
Right.
My business doesn't sit in a silo. It sits in a community with open doors, right? Virginia, awesome. Hibbing, Grand Rapids, Chisholm, right? Forever, it's always been, this is ours. This is ours. This is ours. And I think the population shift doesn't allow it to be ours anymore, right? No. The ours is now what you guys are talking about. It's an Iron Range collective of ideas, of people, of sharing.
Communities
and,
that
maybe we,
things.
This side of the range, hosts an Oktoberfest, 1 year. Right, and all the communities come to it.
Smart.
And the next year, Virginia hosts, something, or Ely, or Rapids, or whatever that looks like, so that you can get communities going to one venue versus we all trying to pull that small piece. So that's my dream.
Right. And then, Mickey, working with young people, what's something you wish every teenager on the Iron Range truly believed about themselves?
I believe that. I wish that they just believed that they were talented. Yeah. The last 4 years of me working as a career academy director, everything I got to do was one-on-one for the most part. I did group stuff, but like the ability to sit down with a kid one-on-one who, for lack of a better word, sucked at math, wasn't very good, wasn't great in English, in these things. And they would come to me and they would believe that they weren't intelligent because they couldn't do well in Algebra 2. Yet I'd go in the welding shop and they're an absolute wizard, right? I go into the wood shop and it's amazing what they could do. Her cousin who couldn't do times tables in my class, yet as an adult, he's got 2 engines torn apart and I'm looking at him and he doesn't have anything organized. He's got nuts, bolts, all this stuff. Like, how? He's like, well, I just know where it goes. I'm like, but you couldn't tell me what 7 times 9 is? Yeah. Are you kidding me? Right? I could tell kids, hey, these schools are built for people like me. I'm a type A, sit down, shut up, know the rules,
Right.
photographic memory, and I could do that, right? And so it was great to be able to look at kids and say, you are talented, right? This isn't your place of expertise, but let's find you where you can be good. And I think that's where schools need to find a way to be better.
Right.
You know, we need to meet these kids where their talents are and not change everything for them, but allow them to excel in those.
And that's Steve and I, that's part of the reason why we started this podcast. I mean, if we can motivate, one person to go in a positive direction, I think we're doing a good thing. And I think that's a lot of good.
Well, look at the labor issues we have in society, right? It's not just technology. It's not just family breakdowns. It's not just social media. It's that for 14 years of their lives, from 4 until they're 18, a lot of these kids are told they're not good enough, they're not smart enough, right? Because we're not giving them an opportunity to shine where they actually are good. Right. So then they're 18 and like, oh, I'm just not very good. Well, instead, if we found ways to show them, no, look at how talented you are, we'd have a different way of looking at things.
And I guess, what advice would you give to a kid growing up here who's feeling like their dreams are bigger than this town?
Go ahead there, my lady.
I don't think they're bigger than this town, right? But you think they are because you're like, oh my gosh, what can I do here? I just tell people, I'm like, do and explore those dreams and the baby steps of doing what you want to do, knowing that it doesn't always get there right away, but pursuing them. And our oldest son, he's doing amazing. He has his own business. He's a videographer and a photographer, and he started his own business in Arizona, and he's flourishing, right? And for him, he's super smart. He's straight A student, always was one that sat in the classroom, but he was not. His dreams were bigger than working for somebody else. So awesome. I always tell people, pursue them, talk to people in the fields that you want to go into, and whether you want to stay in a small town and pursue them or a bigger location, follow your dreams.
Absolutely.
You only live once.
And most importantly, your dreams. Somebody's calling for probably pizza, I bet.
Oh, pizza already?
Your dreams might be bigger than the area right now, right? You might find something that takes you out of Hibbing at some point, off the range. But having the ability to know that home can always be there if you want it to be there, right? So it is hard for some kids because I do think some of the thoughts you have in your head you don't see around happening, right? You don't see them happening around here,
right?
Or that you might see in a metro. But maybe you have to leave to go find those dreams. Maybe you bring those back. Right. And there's obviously an opening in our community. If somebody's not doing it, right. Maybe you can bring it here and do it.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
and then how important are mindset, discipline, and belief when you're trying to build something meaningful?
I feel like for the most part, I'm very fortunate in my mindset. I'm just one of those people, like he said, I'm going to do it and I'm going to prove everyone wrong. I will bite my arms off and my legs off proving people wrong. That's just my mentality, and that has always been how I've been, which is a plus and a minus, right?
Right.
And so I think people always think life, sometimes, I shouldn't say they think, sometimes we think life is going to be easy in what we do and pursue, but not every day is easy. Sometimes it's a grind. And it's that mindset of, I always tell people 5 to 10 years, you plant seeds with what you start, and 5 to 10 years is when you really start seeing them flourish. So you do have to have the mindset of long term, and growing, and growth is the hardest parts of growth. You see the most growth in the hardest portions of your life is when you grow the most. So
nothing that's worth doing is going to be easy, and anything that's easily isn't usually worth doing, right? So but as a 17, 18, 19-year-old kid, that's hard to comprehend.
Yes.
Right.
You haven't lived enough. You haven't had enough experience. I mean, we all see it trying to talk to our own kids. It's hard. But I think there's fantastic opportunity in failure even before success.
Amen.
So
Absolutely. And then taking on something like Sunrise Deli is a huge responsibility. What made you say, yes, let's do this?
yeah, I grew too far apart from where education is and where it's heading.
Right.
Man, I knew my whole life I was going to be a teacher and a coach. You could have asked me as a third grader, I'm going to be a teacher and a coach. Like, that was always my goal in life, and I got there early on. I would say if you asked the majority of people that I taught, the majority of people I worked with, they'd tell you I did really good.
Yeah.
I'm 2 generations late for that profession, man. I'm too honest. I'm too in your face. I'm too realistic expectations. You don't have to be an A student to be great. Right.
Absolutely.
You can be a C student and be great in certain areas because you're doing everything you can to be good there, and I was 1 or 2 honest conversations away from having problems because I wasn't going to hold back, because these kids deserve somebody to let them know, no, you're letting yourself down. You're letting your family down. So, on one of my days I really needed to be done there, I ran into Mary in the parking lot and I kind of asked her, hey, have you guys ever thought about selling? And no, and then as I was walking away, it was, why? Are you interested? And that's kind of how we started down this path. And
Right.
I spent about a year working, and at first I just kind of was somebody in the back helping with manufacturing, helping Tom out. Just trying to see if this was a vital opportunity, and again, going back to some of the things we said earlier, we wanted to stay here,
Yeah.
and if you want to live in a community, the community needs places like Sunrise Deli. They need
Absolutely.
places like Sammy's Pizza, Sunrise Bakery, Rudy's, Palmer's. I don't want to leave anybody out.
Boomtown, Sportsman's.
You need those places
Mike's
here.
Pub.
Custom lettering. Up north lettering, Forboni's, right? All those places have to be here for us to survive as a community.
Right.
And so it was a combination of things. It was knowing I wasn't built to teach in where education's at right now, and B, let's keep this community going.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And then I guess what keeps you going when stress and responsibilities feel overwhelming?
Debt.
Debt. Yes. Number 1, debt.
Yeah, but that gets back to that
Yeah.
dedication that, people believed in us here.
Yes.
People were willing to take a chance on us and believed in us. When I say us, it's Mel and I, man. Like,
Yeah.
they believed in us as a package deal, and they were willing to borrow us money, because they believed in us, but also because they believe in Hibbing, they believe in the range, and they wanted to see this work, so
And this be here still.
so first and foremost, and we believe that we owe it to them to fulfill that. Right. And obviously then it's, I have a passion for this. There are days that suck. There are days that are hard. There are days you're like, what is going on?
You're exhausted.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You sacrifice time with family we brought up earlier.
Yep.
But it's all worth it, man. It is. It's what we love to do. So.
And then if someone wanted to invest in a small town like Hibbing, what's one thing that they need to understand first?
There's great opportunities, man. The I'm going to say it wrong, but Vicky with the SBDC, right?
Yep.
Yeah, SBDC, right? Yeah, we got to work with Vicky early on. I know she's kind of risen up the ranks because she's very talented at what she does, but they were there right away.
Sure.
And
Amazing.
to have
Step by step.
a partner that is paid for, by the Iron Range, resources. I think IIIB is involved in that project with others. That they're there. I mean, she helped write our business plan.
That's awesome.
We met with her. Vicky was fantastic, but they're like, hey, this is what the banks are going to need to see from you guys, right? They did the statistical research for us, right? So you don't have to feel like you're on an island, because neither one of us knew how to start a business, run a business, right? We've done little ones, but when it comes to
Nothing
this
this big.
scale,
Yeah.
you need help, you need partners, and there are a lot of partners in the area. We've made use of the Burr program, the DBR program. There's grant money, all over the Iron Range that allows us to work, and we've had some great partners, with some of the personal finances that we were able to do and some of the bank financing.
Right.
And I think talking to people in the community, like we asked a lot of questions, got a lot of feedback from different businesses, and I think that's super important. A lot of people don't reach out to people that are in the thick of what they want to do right now.
Sure.
We did. We connected with a lot of people
A lot.
in these industries as well.
And Steve, how many episodes are we in? 12 or 13. So the Browns are number 2 for being our second couple on
Hey, you're downtown with the Browns.
downtown with the Browns.
Downtown with the Browns. Look at my heart is beating for
So
you.
I had to do the questions, the rapid fire questions, a little different this
Oh.
time. Well, the same with Denise and Jeff. So we're gonna. You guys watch the podcast,
Oh.
yeah?
Yeah.
Yes?
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you guys
Short
Couple-
answers now.
Oh,
couple rapid fire questions, and you have to answer instantly. No cheating.
Okay.
no
Okay.
cheating.
You guys ready, folks watching?
Now I'm sweating.
All right. Who wakes up earlier?
Me.
Who is more stubborn?
Me.
Me.
Who spends more money?
Him.
Who had the bigger vision for the Reed building?
Mel.
Me. Yeah.
I guess who cooks more at home?
Me.
Him. For sure.
Who is more competitive?
Oh, me.
Ty.
Who is more likely to start another business?
Her.
Me.
Who takes longer to get ready?
Me.
Yes, him.
Who
That's
is-
for sure?
Who is better at dancing?
Oh, I am, or I think I am. Ask my silver sneakers crew.
It may depend on how many beverages are involved.
Who said "I love you" first?
Me.
Then favorite Iron Range meal?
There's so many, man. I can't answer that question like that. Like, especially in this industry. Like, there's no way I can answer that.
Iron Range meal. It wouldn't be porchetta. I'm really sorry, Rangers.
Yeah, I love porchetta. She
Sarmas.
doesn't, but you do like sarmas.
Oh, I love sarmas.
Man, no, you know what? The coolest part, this is not a short answer, but the cool part about the Iron Range is the melting pot that it
Yeah?
is.
Yeah.
From grabbing a Euro from Yanni to
Oh.
going down to Sporty's
Okay,
and getting
see,
a letter
I'm
A,
gonna
to going to
drool.
Rudy's and getting a pizza sub, to going to
Dinner.
Sporty's, maybe getting an old fashioned and some pizza there,
Oh yeah.
going over to Val's, she's getting a Caprese chicken salad every single time.
With extra basil. They
yeah,
know.
Yeah, going to Palmer's getting a burger, man. That to me, I'm a foodie. Like, I need more than if I ever have to die and they're going to give me a week. I need like 2 weeks to plan my meals because I'll never get
Right.
it done in time.
Well, and then I don't know who was writing these questions, but what's the best hidden gem on the Iron Range?
Oh, Sunrise Deli,
Sunrise Deli.
absolutely.
If you haven't been here,
And that's not even arrogance. It's just when you say hidden gem. There's other places that are very, very good.
Oh, yeah.
But people know, right?
yeah.
But the people that come in here for the first time and they're kind of, you see them kind of peeking around. They're
They
not
don't know
sure
what's
where
really
to go
going on.
because
Oh, yeah.
you don't know.
Uh-huh.
But honestly, man, if you haven't been here, you need to come here.
Absolutely.
Like we really believe in what we do. I think we do a great job from her being up front. My mom, Holly, they're going to greet you. They're going to smile at you. She may sing and dance for you and it might scare you, but please stay.
I might tell you when you're having a crabby day that you should skip when you leave the door.
Yeah, but it's just we are a hidden gem because it is hidden.
Yeah.
It doesn't scream restaurant on the front of this place.
No.
Right.
At
You know,
all.
and we're able to take the traditions and grow them. And
Yes.
so we're even more unique. Not only are we now just a deli, but we're one of the premier caterers up here. You know, we do some really cool things. We've got our manufacturing side.
And our
so-
food comes from all over the world.
Yeah.
Because we like to travel
yeah,
and eat.
Yeah.
Well, then I gotta ask, favorite place in Minnesota to relax?
When we get to sit upstairs at the Reed building
Yes.
on the
and
balcony.
we get to sit on our balcony. It is our
Yeah.
favorite place.
Yeah, if you all summer long when you drive by or you're coming in Hibbing
Yep.
and it's evening time, probably usually after 6 or 7.
Yeah, maybe later.
You can
You may
usually
find us.
up there.
It's awesome.
The sun, it's shaded, so you don't have to worry about the sun. We're 2 of us sitting in a chair, probably having a cocktail
And enjoying the noise.
and just watching
And watching the people walk
the
by.
people walk by
Run.
when they do the old school car shows, come
Oh, yeah.
up and
Yes.
down. Like
We enjoy the car
it's
shows.
really cool. So that is probably our most relaxing spot.
And I guess campfires or late night lake swims.
This one doesn't want to go in the water. And
Yeah.
I'm
I'd
terribly
rather sit in the
afraid of
sauna.
dark water. I don't want to go in the water at night.
You want to go on a late night walk in the woods.
No, I'm scared of the dark. I hate all that stuff. Like,
Well,
no.
campfire.
Campfire
we
for
love
sure.
campfire at my dad's cabin.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I'm as big of a chicken as you're ever gonna find, man.
And is this question illegal?
Huh.
Pasties or pizza?
Pizza.
Pizza?
I love pasties, but it's definitely pizza.
My deathbed wish, pizza and donuts.
Yeah.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Snowmobile or boat?
Boat.
Boat.
Why'd you
Although
have
I
to
don't
think
mind a
about that?
snowmobile.
When's the last time were you on a snowmobile?
When I was a kid.
Oh, goodness.
You've never bought me one. Nor
you're right.
wanted to ride on one.
Well, they pass the rapid fire questions, but I saved the hardest ones for the end.
All right.
Oh.
If 30 years from now someone is walking through downtown Hibbing and they see what you have built, what do you hope that they say about the Browns?
Hey, they finally fixed the D on the word deli.
Look at the Libba overhang.
If it
is
was lit
finely
inside,
relit and beautiful.
yeah,
They
man.
painted the outside of the building.
Yeah. No,
We're getting there.
I hope people just would come by 30 years from now and say, those two really cared.
Right.
And we had fun coming
Yeah.
into the deli to eat.
My tombstone, like I
Some
keep
great
telling her,
food.
it's just gonna say I tried.
I tried.
That's what it is. I mean, we tried to make the town better. We tried to make our relationship
Yes.
better. We tried to make the lives better for our employees, for our kids. We tried,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's something simple to be remembered for. You gave
Yeah.
it your all.
You went into the unknown, and just
Absolutely.
kind of
Yeah.
figured it out. What's a moment where someone from the community said something to you that made you all the stress and sacrifice worth it?
We get some really nice comments. We do a lot of catering for funerals.
Yep.
So you get a ton of letters after the fact, thank yous.
Yes.
But a woman just came in yesterday. We did her funeral for her dad, sorry, about a year ago. And it was her first time getting in because she's not from the area. And she's like, I just want to say thank you.
Oh,
The
that's
food was wonderful. And I think there's nothing more special than kind of helping a family celebrate the passing of their loved one, right? And when they say, hey, they would have loved that meal.
And making it special for them.
Yeah.
That's what I love.
Yeah.
I love that we make everything special. Everything is unique and catered to
Yep.
whether it's a wedding or an event or a funeral, making it special to that individual and what they would want.
Correct.
And then, if tomorrow everything disappeared, the buildings, the business, the projects, what would you hope people still remembered about the impact you tried to make?
It's a hard question. What? I don't even know. Read that again.
If tomorrow everything disappeared, the buildings, the business, the projects, what would you hope people still remembered about the impact you tried to make?
I think just how hardworking and how much fun we had and what we brought to the community. And you just hope that it really gives other people the zest and vision to do other things. But just, the impact, whether it's a good meal, the thought of a good meal, or, I tortured them in workout class or made them laugh. Just, it's out to me. It's always a feeling
It is. I think it's
that you leave with people.
You smile at people.
Yeah.
You thank them, and I think people really truly appreciate that about coming here, or I can't believe people comment on the live. Hey, I love watching your live. I love that you just, keep it simple. You keep it real, and I think that's the thing that people will probably always remember us for. We are who we are. We're not pretending to be anybody else.
Yeah.
We're not trying to be anybody else. We're just trying to be us. And, and I think that's probably what people remember about us.
And I might be a little unique.
Well, yes. we just got 2 more questions, but I want to thank you guys. Thank you both for being on the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
And being honest and upfront about the questions.
Appreciate what you guys are doing. I think it's really, really vital and important to what we got going on here.
And then, thank you. And then what is something you wish the community understood about the weight you carry while trying to build something for everyone else?
Yeah, I don't ever look at it that way, because I think this was a self-driven choice. Right. So I think we stepped into this. We decided to do this. This is the direction we wanted to go. So, I guess I don't want to put it onto their plate, because the first response might be, well, you chose this, not me.
Right.
And I don't think that's an arrogant statement or a wrong statement on them, So I don't see it at all that way. I just see it as I hope they recognize what we're doing to try to make the range a better place to be, to keep families here to raise kids. I guess that's my answer.
Another place to go, right? Like we always talk about, you need all of the businesses. You need to step into whatever you do. Like when we stepped into owning the deli and doing live feeds and doing pictures and posting on social media, it then made other people do it a little bit more. And I think you need that. You need that challenges and those growths from each other to grow our businesses and become better, because I think anyone can become stale and stagnant in anything they do. So having businesses, not just in Hibbing, just on the range, in other places in general, it just gives you new light and insight into what you can do. So yeah, absolutely. It's needed. I think we're all needed.
And then if someone on the Iron Range is sitting there tonight thinking their dream is too big for a small town, what would you want to say directly to them to say, hey, try to motivate them to just kind of go for it? I know we kind of already touched on that, but that's kind of
I don't know, whose definition of too big is it, right? Yeah. Are you restricting yourself? Or has somebody else told you it's too big? I know. There are definitely things that seem maybe uphill or too challenging for you. I didn't know anything about running a deli. I didn't know anything about manufacturing food, the USDA, the FDA, and so, but I knew I loved food and I loved people.
Right.
And so that was the part that made the dream seem realistic. So if you're passionate about something, then you got to chase it. I have all kinds of ideas in my head. I have all kinds of things that I want to happen, but I'm lucky to have this partner with me who is just driven beyond belief, right? Just like you said, she tore her own arm off to get to a goal where I'd be like, oh, well, okay, I guess I'm done, whatever. And so I think we're blessed because we have that partnership. So if you think it's too big by yourself, who do you have to support you? Right. Is it your parents? Is it a sibling, a boyfriend, girlfriend relationship, somebody else in the business? Yeah.
Connecting with like-minded people is huge,
right.
Because if you talk to any other business owner, they have the same hiccups. And so when you think, oh, what are we doing? Is this really working? What can we change? When you connect with like-minded people, whether it's in the same industry or just somebody owning a business, they help breathe life into that your idea can work. But you get to ask the questions of, what worked for you? What didn't work from you?
Right.
Why reinvent a broken wheel that isn't going to work out? So you have that connection piece. And I always tell people, stay connected with those like-minded people, because they're going to help you get from point A to point B. And it is possible. Anything's possible in my mind.
And I didn't have these on the questions, but I typically do. like in your harder moments, like when we were younger, like if you could go back to kind of like your younger self, you know, and just trying to figure it out. It sounds like you kind of had it already figured out. Like, what would you kind of tell your younger self to kind of prepare you for now?
For me, it probably would be like, I think for school was a struggle for me. I'm more of a hands-on person.
Don't be so stubborn.
Don't be so stubborn. But like him and my boys and Mickey would always say, like, you're a great certificate getter. Because I was. And I think when you're younger, and like he was saying, the Career Academy, there wasn't people out there that were very big promoters of that. It's like you need to.
There were,
but
not in the sense like not organized. But you know,
Yep.
the Mrs. Bymarks of the world were
Yep.
always trying to get kids pointed in the right direction. But I think what you're getting at is the theme was go get a 4-year degree, go get a 4-year degree, go get a 4-year degree.
Yeah,
you
and
know.
I think my younger self would be like, I'm good with who I am, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna still make it in this world, finding my own way
Right.
and what works best for me.
Right.
You were just too perfect.
No, I don't think that's it at all. I think, you know, for me, it's the opposite. Maybe be a little bit more okay with risk. You know, I
Right.
was a very easy, chill dude, man. Like, get straight A's in school. You know, I was a good athlete, you know, and those aren't bragging things. It's just those were things that came natural.
Right.
You know, but like I was saying earlier, I'm still scared of the dark, man. I don't want to go to the dark. I don't want to go to the outhouse that's in the dark. Like, I'm always looking around, you know. I don't want to jump in the water. I don't want to go in the ocean. There's stuff that eats me, right? So,
water.
you know, so I think I wish I could have convinced that younger self of mine to be a little bit more of a risk taker.
Sure.
You know, just because it does prepare you for life, you know, and I do that live every day, and I'm anxiety ridden every day.
No.
Like I'm totally a shy kid by nature,
Sure.
you know, but it took going to college and working as a server and as a bartender and going, all I have to do is talk to these people and smile,
Yeah.
and they're going to leave me this tip. Like, I need to talk more, you know? And so,
Right.
and then you become a teacher, right? And you have to be confident in front of people, whether or not you really truly are, whether or not you're having a good day or a bad day, that's not their problem,
Right. Right.
you know? And I've carried that over to this. It's not my customer's problem whether I'm having a good day or a bad day. They just need to see a smile on my face, because
Right.
that's what they might need
Right.
to have a day. So,
Absolutely. That's awesome.
you know,
And I guess, yeah, we'll kind of wrap it up though. So, I mean, you guys have an awesome story. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of, we're probably all going to watch this podcast later and say, man, I wish we would have covered this, or that. I mean, use the platform. If people want to follow your guys' journey and kind of check out on you, where would they go?
well, there's a couple people at the door right now trying to get in, but you know, easiest right now is on Facebook, man.
Okay.
Sunrise Deli on Facebook. I put my face on there.
Make
almost.
sure it's Hibbing, not California.
Yeah.
There's a Sunrise Deli out there.
I put my face on there. Yeah, and
And
not
not
Sunrise
Sunrise
Bakery.
Bakery.
We probably should clear that up. We love Paul and the crew at the Sunrise Bakery. It is a total separate entity. Paul that owns Sunrise Bakery is a part of the 40 family that originally started the bakery.
Okay.
We bought the Sunrise Deli from Tom 40, who is another part of the 40 family, the original. He was the grandson of the original owner. So we are totally separate. We do share the Sunrise name. They're the bakery with the deli. So that's, as far as sharing the Sunrise name, that's the only things that
Wow.
we have.
And we plan to have the 40s on the podcast as well. So we'll dig,
Be awesome.
we'll dig deeper on that,
Be awesome.
on that whole background
But,
as well.
Yeah, so following us on Facebook is the best place to kind of check out what we got going on.
And then, I mean, you guys got a couple businesses going on. I mean, any shout outs how to find their.
You can go to Synergy Studio on Facebook,
Which is,
which is
what do you do there?
we teach workout classes.
Why are you looking at me? Tell them.
I'm so used to looking at him. He always says, "Look me in the eyes."
That's
So we teach workout classes. We do personal training, group training. So lots of goodness there, and also you can follow me on social media, Melissa Brown.
Massage therapy.
And I do massage therapy.
Myofascial.
Yep. And I do massage therapy.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk for me? So, do massage therapy, cranial fascial work. I'm trying to think, fascial scraping.
Yeah.
I do all kinds of stuff. I'm a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
And
But
Steve,
yeah.
and Steve behind the camera will put together all the links and
Yeah.
list
Perfect.
of everything for you
Perfect.
guys as well. So if people want to follow the Browns, we will have it all there for you guys. But I want to thank you guys so much for being on the podcast. You guys are wonderful.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you guys.
We
Thanks for
appreciate your
having us
time.
be a part of it.
Thanks for tuning in to the Iron Range Adventure podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who loves the Iron Range as much as we do. You can follow us on social media at Iron Range Adventures across most platforms, and find more episodes, stories, and adventures at ironrangeadventures.com.